Day in the life of a selfish woman.
I'm excited, it's already weekend.
Happily married here, and I say this without weirdness, but if he dies first, and he knows this, LOL, I will not do it again.
What advice would you give your younger self?
To never marry. To never marry.
It's that part where you're like, yeah, it's a weekend, I need peace of mind. Those that are working, they are far away from their bosses, so that is the time they can breathe, they can have peace of mind, they can be entertained. And because you're not ready for certain topics, like I was not ready for today's topic, in my honest opinion, I wanted to make a video about how I am going to become a millionaire by the end of the year. And because I've been working on myself and studying certain things, trying to develop some skills, I felt like, okay, I think I should go on TikTok and look for people as well who have my ideology and share something about it. When I go to TikTok, I was not ready for this. I come across the first video, watch it to the end, scroll past, 1, 2, 3 video past that video, I get another video talking about the same topic. Why I don't want to get married, why I don't want to have children. And I'm like, oh my god. I actually thought that I was the only person who is getting this pressure. As long as you clock your mid-20s and then you reach your late 20s, you're going to start getting pressure. I am not even shocked that your family is going to play a major role on the pressure pumping. Oh my god, you are getting old. You have no husband, you have no child. And since you're entering into your 30s, you better know that time is ticking. You're going to start feeling that pressure and you're going to tell yourself that, oh my god, I need to get me a man. I need children. I need to raise my children. Now I understand. It's because of all that pressure coming all around and the pressure of your friends, the people in your circle getting married, getting proposed to, and then you're seeing yourself being left behind. Oh my god. Now, if you're going through such pressure, trust me, you're not alone. We are all in that category where you are going to enter into your 30s with no children. You're not married. You have nothing attached to your name. But don't put yourself on pressure. You're going to end up becoming desperate, and in the end, you might end up making a mistake that you will regret. Even after you give birth to the children that you want, even after you get married to the man that you want. Now, because my video was interrupted, the video that I wanted to make was about me becoming a millionaire by the end of 2025, but then it was interrupted by this very video. I decided that I'm going to be reacting to these videos one at a go. But I am still going to make the other video because I feel it's worth it and I feel it's worth sharing it. So you'll still get it, yeah? Here is our first video.
Day in the life of a selfish woman. I'm 32 years old with no desire to get married or have children, and people often ask me if I met the right person, would I change my mind? The answer is no, I won't. Not wanting to be a mother has less to do with finding the right person than it does living a life free from avoidable stress. Although the thought of trying to co-parent with a man where I have to shoulder the majority of the emotional and physical labor sounds like a nightmare. No one is immune to life's challenges, but at 32, I finally feel like I'm at a place where I can do what I want, when I want, without answering to anyone, and it feels awesome. Having a child would completely change that, and for what? Being a mother is really hard, and I don't want to work hard. The idea of hard work has been glamorized by the institutions and people, mainly men, that benefit from a woman's labor the most, so I'll gladly take the easy way out if it means I don't have to stress about raising a child in a broken system that only rewards the smallest subset of the population if they fit neatly into a mold. And even then, what's really the reward? Most people don't have the privilege of self-actualization because they're forced to live paycheck to paycheck, grinding away at unfulfilling jobs for just a few weeks of freedom a year, if they're lucky. If I ever do choose to partner again, that person will share the sentiment that being a selfish woman isn't a flaw. It's a conscious rejection of the societal expectation that women must sacrifice themselves for others to be worthy or valuable, and being selfish is a wonderful thing a woman can be.
It's been said before, but I'll say it again. Marriage isn't really good for women. Women don't benefit from being married to men. The comment section on this video is full of women who say this, happily married here, and I say this without weirdness, but if he dies first, and he knows this, LOL, I will not do it again. So many of the comments came from married women who claim to be happily married, who say they would never choose to live with a man again. And I think this speaks volumes about the dynamics that exist in our culture overall, right? When men get married, they expect their wife to take care of them, to cook for them, to clean for them, to take care of their children, to have children for them, and they go off and work. But in today's world, these women are also working. And so not only are they working full-time, but they are also expected to care for the home and the children and do exponentially more work in the home than their partner. And oftentimes these men have been raised without the information or expectation that they'll take care of the home themselves or take care of the kids. And so even when they try to help, they need a list, they need her to tell him what to do, and it's exhausting for women. It's been shown that marriage isn't actually good for women. Women who are single do better than men. Also, having children isn't really good for women, right? We have the wage gap, the motherhood penalty, and the fact that having children can put women at a higher risk of financial troubles in the future, right? Marrying men, living with men, and having children doesn't quote unquote benefit women in the same way it does men, which is why so many women say they would never do it again. And that's also why so many men remarry so fast.
I am so glad that nowadays people have the freedom to choose. In the 80s, the woman did almost everything, and the man received the reward at the end of the day if he had a hardworking woman. If he had a lazy woman, then it would still go back to the woman. So it meant that anything that was good, the praises would go to the man, and anything that was bad was thrown back to the woman. I don't blame the bad manners of the child. I blame your upbringing. I don't blame this. I blame you. Today, girls have the freedom to say that this is the kind of man I want. This is who I want. And even when they clock 30 and they still don't have the kind of men that they have pictured, they won't get married. You will not see them getting married. From before, women have been sacrificing. Women have been the hardworking ones, but they were not being recognized. Today, women are recognized for their wealth. Even today, there are people who have become successful on their own, but they're going to say she opened her legs to men. She did this. She sold herself short. When in actual sense, it was her hard work. It was her sacrifice. Everything that she built was her genuine sweat. But people are not going to accept that. People are not going to agree. They're still going to align it to some man. If I work hard and become a millionaire by the end of this year, and things have worked out for me for the glory of God, let me hear bim from anyone that her success is because of a man. Here. Let's go to the next video.
I just don't see myself ever getting married. I am not about to go through the BS that you go through in a divorce, right? Losing assets, having to divide assets. It is my own personal opinion that most marriages are going to end in divorce anyways. Most of them already have, if you really look around. I know plenty of people who are divorced. I know plenty of people who failed at marriage multiple times because they've been married multiple times. So at the end of the day, that's just not a risk I'm willing to take, right? And for the same reasons why I don't want to have kids, right? The number one way I can guarantee that I'll never be a single mother or a baby mama or whatever is to not have kids, right? You have to protect yourself from things. You can't control the law, right? I've seen a lot of people lose things, men and women, lose things in marriages and divorces that was very unfair. Especially if you've acquired things before you got married and then the financial situation changed between you or your husband or whatever. And then now all of a sudden you're taking this and you're taking that, even though it was mine. People will say sign prenups. I see prenups get thrown out all the time. Overturned. Depends on the judge. It depends on the state you're in. It depends on the judge's mood that day. It depends on who has the better lawyer.
Every year that passes, the rate of divorce is becoming an issue. You see, our parents, they overcame a lot. They withstood a lot. Today we are in a generation where people don't have the strength to withstand. Even if it's about my children, let me go in peace. We can co-parent, but when we are not in the same house, our parents, they endured a lot. That's why they deserve their flowers. Today, when I see something that I don't like about my partner, I have all the rights to file for a divorce, and I will divorce him without thinking twice. However, there are categories of people who are going to be out there saying that why get married if I'm going to be divorced at the end of the day and it's going to cost me a lot, I'd rather not get married at all. God can decide to shock you and send you a partner who you did not even think that would ever cross your path, my dear. You will end up falling in love. Anyone who has fears that I am getting married, but then, there is something called a divorce, don't ever do something because of the outcome of anything. For example, if you want to start a business, are you going to say that 95% of startup businesses always fail? Oh my God, I cannot start that salon. What if? Every time you start talking about what ifs, nothing is going to happen. You're not going to initiate anything. It won't be initiated. That plan, it can't be initiated because it is in your mind that it has to happen. So if you put it in your mind that there's something called a divorce, you may not even end up enjoying your marriage. The other thing is that having to raise your child single-handedly. Oh my God, it is so annoying that the parents of nowadays, you're not raising your children right. Most NGOs here in Uganda, most NGOs are fighting for the girl child. They are raising the girl child, they're empowering the girl child, and girls are coming out to become the better leaders, the strong ones, the competitors. And somehow I'm seeing that boys are becoming lazy. They feel like I can get a hardworking woman, fold my hands, and I think I can tolerate her shouting at me, her disrespect, as long as I'm living in a good life. Imagine your parents raised you. Now they have to raise their grandchildren as well. This is not nice. That is why these people are coming out saying that I cannot get married. I can't. Leave alone that other thing, sharing your properties. Because of the education system of nowadays, of today, I am grateful. People have opened their eyes, they have shown their eyes. You know how your hard work can be shared and you're seeing, and then you're like, no. And men of nowadays, they've decided that me, I'm not going to get married. Why? Because if we separate, half of my shares are not going to be mine, they're going to be for that woman.
Someone just told me to hurry up and have kids before it's too late. Too late for what? I'm 45 years old. I don't understand why people are still bothering me about having kids. I mean, menopause is right around the corner. Like, why do I have to have a kid now? I made the decision to go child-free in my mid to late 20s. It served me really well. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to be selfish. I wanted to do whatever I wanted all of the time. Don't get me wrong. I love kids. I love their energy. After the age of 5, toddlers seem like a lot of work. They're always screaming and they're always crying and puking, and I just couldn't. And how do you guys afford kids? I mean, really. Kids these days, an 8-year-old wants a PS5. I went to the mall and some little kid had a better designer bag than me. I see a lot of moms struggling too, and frankly, I don't know what's worse. Struggling with trying to bring up upstanding citizens, them struggling with the constant exhaustion, them struggling with the expense. It's not for me. It absolutely is not for me. I never really wanted to be a mom. I don't think I have a biological clock. If you make the decision to be child-free, stick to it. Don't let anybody sway you, because they will try until you are lying in your coffin to make you have kids.
I feel like this is the longest video I have ever made, but let's see. What's my take on this? I can say that it's nice to make a decision and stand by it. I mean, you're in your 40s. These are decisions you made in your mid-20s, your late 20s, and you stuck by them till menopause. Truthfully, there's nothing I can say about it because this is what they planned, and then it had to turn out exactly like that. We all know that plans change, things come across, people come across and change our plans just like that. But for it to work just like you planned, okay. The thing about our generation is that we are a bit weak. I don't know what term to use, but there's a way we want the easy way out. We don't want to take care of toddlers. We want already made things. We do not want the beginning of every process of anything. That is why you will not start that business. You will not start that side hustle that you've been thinking about. You want to be an employee to someone who has already made it in life. You don't know how they started giving back to kids, taking care of them at that early stage. They are so demanding. And the funny thing with kids is that they always find their way to get whatever thing that they want. They want it, they get it. But you see, the beauty about it is the fact that they're going to grow up and then you're going to remember those days. Those are memories, precious memories of the hurdles, the hassles you went through with these kids. And then they had to grow up to be these adults that you groomed them to be. Since we already want our ready-made things, I know many of us will opt for for dogs. We will opt for pets instead of real human beings. That is our generation. Yeah, we want the easy way out. Easy come, easy go. Easy come, easy go. Because it feels nice being challenged and then you overcome something and you're like, oh, so I can do it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I wasn't prepared to make this video. I've realized that very many people are out there. We are in our late 20s, we are in our early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, and we feel like, oh my God, I cannot enter into this institution called marriage. I can't do it. I just can't see myself doing it. Even the married people are saying that if they were given an opportunity to turn back time, they're not going to get married. So who are you that you want to get married? So we are making our decisions based on exposure. We are making our decisions based on people's experiences.